All right, thank you everyone for joining us here today as we kick off the 2025 NHRA season here in Gainesville. Joining us this morning for a special announcement, we've got Leah Pruett, Tony Stewart, and Matt Hagan with the Tony Stewart Racing team. We'll take some general questions here in a minute, but first things first, Dodge and SRT and the Tony Stewart Racing team announced today a new multi-year extension in its long-standing partnership to field entries in the two Nitro Division's Top Fuel and Funny Car in the National Hot Rod Series, Mission Foods Drag Racing Series. So definitely exciting to see that extension move forward for several years to come. I'll get a general statement from each of you before we open it up to questions. Start with Tony. Just the extension to be able to continue with Dodge. How exciting is that for you?
It's huge for us and our organization. Obviously, you know, we have to have great partners to do what we do in motorsports. And honestly, I mean, when we talked about starting our teams with NHRA, with TSR, Dodge was the first group that came and was excited and eager to be a part of it. And we weren't even convinced when we had those conversations that we were going to be able to pull off what we were trying to pull off. But they've been behind us very, very strong from day one and given us the encouragement and the resources to know that we could do this and do it the right way. So excited to have Dodge back on. Direct Connection, Mopar, everybody associated with Dodge has just bent over backwards to make sure that if there was anything that we needed as an organization, that they were there to help, and we just can't thank them enough.
Leah, same thing, excitement for this. I know you've been associated with Dodge for a long time to see this continue.
Absolutely. I think over the years, the partnership not only has just grown and transitioned into our team, but I think it's such a testament to what Dodge stands for, right? Power and muscle, and that's what our sport is all about. And I think this represents their commitment to drag racing, to professional drag racing, and what partnerships are really about, right? Being with Matt for so many years, myself over 8 years. And man, it makes me so excited because we live and breathe Dodge every day. It's our daily drivers, and working with our power brokers and Direct Connection and really sending that message home to all of the Mopar enthusiasts that we are the source. Direct Connection is the source for their performance parts, and just being able to continue that on the track for a multi-year extension, and it couldn't be a better way to start the season.
Exactly, Matt, same to you, long association with Dodge.
Yeah, I guess it's coming up on 18 years now with Dodge, 4 championships and 52 race wins in my career. So it's been amazing. I mean, but it doesn't just, happen with me. It happens with our group of people and everybody that we put around us, and our group of great partners at Dodge. Mark Whitney does a great job behind the scenes making this stuff happen, and everybody at Dodge. But even going back to where Big Daddy back in the day, you know what I mean. So Dodge has had such a presence in the sport and will continue to have a presence in the sport, and I think that's big for NHRA and our marketing partners and everybody else that we do a lot of B2B business with as well. And when you say 18 years, I was like, damn, I'm getting old. You know what I mean? So it is really cool to be able to go through the highs and the lows and the championships and the runners up and all the race wins, and I go back home and I look at all the Wallies that are sitting on the shelf and stuff, and it's just like, sometimes you think about how someone spends millions of dollars out here and they're trying to get one Wally, and the fans that stay after and they want to touch the Wally, and just what a crazy environment that we create, that is such fan-friendly environment, that our fans can do that our people can come out there, and that old saying of, win on Sunday, buy it on Monday, kind of sell on Sunday, whatever, win on Sunday, buy on Monday, yeah, I don't know, my dad's a car dealer and I can't even get it right, but it's, but yeah, no difference with that too, it goes back to my family, we've been a Dodge dealer for over 50 years back in Virginia, and so it makes a full circle, and we're just very, very proud at Tony Stewart Racing, the organization he's put together, to have a group of partners to put together that just really work well. And even looking to the future, we have a new Dodge Daytona sitting out there in the Midway that you guys can go check out. Me and Leah were checking that out yesterday. It's a new EV deal, and I'm just like, where's all the buttons and whistles and all this kind of stuff? And it's just progressing and evolving, and knowing that Dodge is going to be in the sport, and I think that means a lot to everybody out here.
Matt, one quick Gainesville question, then we'll open up to general. You had struggled here at this track, and then Tony Stewart Racing's very first win came here in the funny car, I think in 2022. how special is this place for you and this team?
Yeah, you have some tracks that just never show you any love, and you're just like, what? Like Sonoma is the only track I haven't won at yet, in my career. And I'm like, what do I got to do to win at Sonoma? And I thought Gainesville was going to be like that. And then we kind of came out here. Tony and Leah put together an organization that kept our group together, supplied us with the parts and pieces we needed and everything to do. And to come out here the first year of our deal and win Gainesville, it was like, oh my gosh, what's really cool is just to go back and watch the victory line, celebrations on the starting line and stuff like that. And this dude's like arms in the air, Mark Whitney's jumping around, everybody's just having a good time. And that's the kind of stuff that gives you chill bumps, you know what I mean? Like it's amazing. I miss out on a lot of that stuff because I'm up there putting parachutes out and hoping to God to stop, but it's those type of things when it all comes together and it all works and you're able to turn 4 win lights on Sunday and then go out there and battle for a championship to be, second year in and to win a championship for TSR is huge. And Leah there, had to break within a round win of winning the championship too. And it just speaks volumes to our partners, to what Tony does as a team owner and putting everything together. And, I'm just proud to be a part of this,
Mark?
Yeah, just switching gears a little bit for Tony and Leah. Parenthood is obviously now your life. How different does it feel coming to the track with the kid?
Her answer is going to be a little bit different than mine because she's the one doing all the work. And that's just the reality of it. I can say that I remember when Dale Jr. had his first child, and I remember I waited a couple weeks to congratulate him because I knew his phone was going to be flooded. And not only when I sent the text message, but immediately he sent a text back and he goes, "This is what's missing in your life that you don't realize you're missing." And I realized it when he was born. I realized it in the off season while we were home. I'm realizing it even more in depth when we went to the pro shootout, and now that we're at Gainesville and testing this week and having Dominic here. And we have help, obviously. Leah has huge responsibilities, not only as a mom and a babysitter for me, but now, on top of that, she plays a very crucial role with the race team. She doesn't just sit around. She's not sitting on her hands all day away from the kid. She's working in this pit. So she has a full schedule, and we have help with Dominic here, and it's gone really, really well. But it is, if you have a bad run and you get a chance to go back to the bus just for 5 minutes and he's awake and you see him smile one time, that bad run doesn't seem so bad anymore. So I think this kid's going to play a really crucial role on this team, just like my wife, just like Matt, just like Mark, and the other Matt with the hair, we call him. So Matt with the best hair in the pit. But I think it's great. I've thoroughly enjoyed the short amount of time, and obviously we're just scratching the surface getting back to racing, but I guess it's kind of like what Dale had told me years ago. It's like I didn't realize what this was going to mean until we got here and got to the track, and it's the best feeling in the world.
Yes, it's very strategic on my part, getting Tony to see Dom when cars aren't running and not warming up, and making, all the whatever lows we have. Bradenton didn't go as well as we wanted. We had a great test session this week in Gainesville leading into the race, but for me, consistency is so key, just like a race car. And nothing about our life right now has been consistent, but when I walk from the bus and I come here to the first race and we are announcing this partnership as Dodge, they are our anchor of our team. They have been since we first started it. We're continuing on, and that gives me, I've smiled. I'm riding the scooter here knowing that I'm late. I'm smiling watching all the fans, knowing that my baby's in good care, knowing that we have the best partners we're sharing with the world, and I feel very consistent being here. And there's nothing better than that. That's the very foundation of any type of success. And from being a mother's standpoint, I'm learning all that, and I'm enjoying it because of what's surrounding us and the team and the support that we have and that we have right now. I'm absolutely loving it, and I'm finding this balance between constantly comparing my love for racing and love for Dominic, and there's two different types of love, right? But I feel like I have won the absolute lottery. A beautiful baby, an incredible team on both sides, incredible partners, and I couldn't be happier.
Tony, obviously you made your top field debut here last year. Talk about Tony Stewart, top field driver then versus now.
My number one goal this weekend is to not be first pair against Justin Ashley on Sunday. a year ago, I mean, we literally, you couldn't have asked for a worst case scenario. I'm grateful that these things don't have carburetors on it, because I was tapping the throttle so much I would have flooded the thing in the water box before they got done with the national anthem. But I think this year I'm way calmer. I mean, there's still a lot of things that haven't happened driving the car that I know are out there and that are gonna come at some point. So it's not like you sit here a year later going, I got this. But I feel way more confident and comfortable where I am now versus where I was a year ago at this time. So, yeah, it made testing more fun. I mean, I literally, when we tested here last year, I was trying to figure out, I mean, I almost felt like we should have put something on a whiteboard, an over-under on how much in parts I blew up, because I was making mistakes. But, you know, coming back here now, it's like, you're not worried about those things as much. I mean, and I can still make mistakes, we all can, but definitely the confidence level's much higher now versus a year ago. It's, you know, I feel like I can race now, and, you know, feel like starting the season, I'm not starting behind everybody. I feel like I'm more caught up.
So for Tony, how's the refusal to change diapers going? Have you been broken yet?
I really don't want to answer this sitting next to her right now, because she keeps telling me every time I say this answer that it is not a flex, that it is embarrassing, but I still am undefeated at this point. I've not changed a diaper. I have told her I am ready in the right situation, so I would say just keep tuned to social media, because I will make sure the world knows when I change my first one. I'm ready for this. I'm probably more scared about changing this first diaper than I was lining up against Justin Ashley last year, first round. So, but yeah, we've had help. I mean, we've had a newborn care specialist that's helped, and with Leah and her together, I don't know how many people it takes to change a kid. So we got plenty of help, but obviously it's something that I'd never thought I would say this. I'm kind of looking forward to this a little bit, because I feel like it's a rite of passage to a certain degree as a father. So it is coming, and I'm planning and psychologically getting my mind in the right frame of mind to do this, because I've watched him pull the diaper down and I've seen what's in there, and I immediately exit stage right. So I'm gonna have to commit to this one. So, but once we do the first one, it'll be fine, I'm sure. Susan, you're shaking your head. I'm a guy.
I know, but you gotta learn this stuff.
I know, and I'm going to, I promise.
When you lined up against Justin Ashley in the first round here, you probably had to change your own diaper.
Trust me, that part of my body was so tight, nothing was coming out of that part, so we didn't have to worry about that angle.
You know, you just announced that Dodge is renewing their partnership with you guys. You look in the racing world right now, all these OEMs are chasing EVs or electrification or hybrid systems. And now Dodge is standing here today saying, we want to continue to invest in raw internal combustion engine racing. How much pride do you take in that, knowing that they're just continuing to strengthen their involvement in the sport of NHRA?
It shows their moxie. I mean, Dodge has got balls. I mean, that's what they're about. They're about doing big things with big power. They're not chasing trends. They're not trying to do what everybody else does. They're trying to lead the pack, and they're continuing to lead the pack in this category. So I think this is a big statement about what Dodge is about and what their commitment to motorsports is about. And, you know, I think we're gonna see a lot of things that have been changing in the last 3 or 4 years. I think there's gonna be a lot of changes with that even. And I'm glad to see that they haven't just followed everybody's lead, that they are creating their own path. And that's what TSR is about too. We create our own path.
Tony, first I want to say it's commendable that in the sport and in most sports where it's a results-based business, that there were no knee-jerk reactions made, because of course people, and we see it in football all the time, because in the first year or the first 2 years they don't have success, they fire people. And to keep this team together, that's commendable. And what things have you guys figured out coming into this season, and where do you guys think you feel you'll improve and be more consistent at?
Well, if you watched Bradenton, I mean, everything was backwards. Like we literally performed the worst we've performed in those 5 days down there. I'm extremely proud of Neil and Mike Domagala to literally go from the Bradenton event, go back to Indiana, literally yard sale the majority of the program, in all honesty, and work to create a new program to come down here. I mean, we made 14 runs in Bradenton, and it literally only made 2 full pulls, which was both the night qualifying sessions and a planned shutoff. Other than that, it was all failed attempts. We came here Tuesday and Wednesday and tested, made 6 runs over those 2 days, and it made it down 4 runs out of those 6. So already a huge improvement. So, I think a lot of it, and talking to a lot of the peers in the pit area here, I mean, there's so much respect for Neil as a crew chief, and he's been a co-crew chief for so long. The thing that I kept hearing from different crew chiefs and crew members is he just needs more time. And so you hate to pull a guy's legs out from underneath him when you know the potential's there. He just needs time to do it. This is such a different sport from everything else. I mean, literally, I can remember being at Bristol and Martinsville, and we could run 100 laps in happy hour and come in and make 3 or 4 changes in a 1-hour session. Where here, you're going to get 4 opportunities to get data. So it's hard. You can't just sit there and make lap after lap all day and keep making small changes. The time frame gets stretched out because of that, I feel like, in this sport versus what I've done in the past. So I have the confidence in him. If anybody's carrying that burden on his shoulders, I mean, we both talked about it. I carry it because I'm the team owner, I'm driving the car, and it's my reputation of what I've done in all these years of motorsports leading up to this. That's tough. It's equally, if not tougher, for Neil to sit there and know that who he works for and who's driving his car, and the fact that he is 70% of the equation and the success of the team. So it's as bad for him, and we both share that load together. We just kind of walk down the hallway when nobody's looking, holding hands and saying it's going to be okay. So, but he just needs more time, and I feel like adding Phil Schuler to our program and on Matt's car, Phil's been able to go back and forth between the 2 cars, and I think having someone like Phil a part of our program now has been a big asset to Neil as well, and just gives him a little more confidence and more of a sounding board with his ideas of, I'm thinking about this, and it gives him somebody to bounce that off of and either say, I've been down that rabbit hole before, or I think that's a great call in the right direction, and it's just building confidence in Neil now.
Thank you.
Yeah, for Tony, I mean, obviously you've worked with a bunch of manufacturers over the years. Just what is it with Dodge that you've noticed over the last couple of years of working with them that sticks out, whether it's on or off the racetrack?
I think the first thing I think of is there's never been a conversation where we've asked for something and their immediate answer was no. They're like, if they don't know if they can do it right away, they're gonna let us get back to you. But they have literally, everything we've asked for, they've done. And they're always thinking forward of what can we do to make everything better. It's not just about, obviously at the end of the day, it's about selling cars, it's about selling product, but they are vested in this race team, and they want this race team to succeed as well. So anytime that we've asked for something resource-wise that they have internally that can help our race team, and we've asked for help, there's not been a moment where they said, we can't do that. If they have a question, they'll go back and find out and get back to us, but they've always been very, very helpful in helping this team perform. So, and I know our results on his side have showed it. I know last year didn't show on our side, but it's not because of their lack of commitment. They've reached out in times when we didn't reach out to them and said, what can we do to help you guys? And that's something that really means, to me personally, that means a lot.
Yeah, I talked to Antron about a week ago in Phoenix, and he was saying that NHRA is really moving the needle as far as awareness. I know IndyCar had such a huge surge of excitement. I mean, are you seeing that in the NHRA as well before your season opener?
I think so, but I love Fox. They're doing some false advertising. They keep saying that IndyCar's got the fastest cars. I don't know what the hell they're watching. They're missing the mark by 100 miles an hour. So they're the fastest ones that turn during their lap. But I'm excited for IndyCar on it. I'm excited for Fox. I mean, Fox has been a great partner to NHRA, and to see them branch out to a different form of motorsports and get in the IndyCar side is huge. And I think for us, we kind of got our feelings hurt a little bit because there was such a big push for it, but it's because it's so new at the same time, and making sure that the fans know where to see IndyCar racing. So they've done a great job taking care of the NHRA side. Now that the season started, they'll continue to push for us as well, and they're great partners. I mean, I talked to a lot of the Fox people because I did the broadcast stuff, and they do care about NHRA, so it's not like we got pushed to the side for IndyCar by any means. They definitely care about the sport.
So we see a lot of piggybacking and.
I definitely think so. I mean, I remember doing the first Daytona 500 broadcast that I did.
Right.
We talked about Gator Nationals. So I think you'll see a lot of crossover with the IndyCar side and the NHRA side.
Antron and Austin were both at St. Pete's and
Yeah.
they were part of the
Yeah,
broadcast.
they didn't get on the, they didn't get on the broadcast though.
Yeah, they were.
Were they just on at the very end of the?
You went to the bathroom during that part.
Changing a diaper.
AJ, go ahead.
I think with some of the other OEMs, TRD, General Motors with Chevy, and Ford Motor Company, we may be more aware of the business model. Is your partnership directly with Mopar, the Chrysler Corporation, Dodge, Americas? Can you elaborate on the specifics of your relationship?
Stellantis.
Okay.
So, and I think it's, you know, obviously I've had those relationships in the past with the other OEMs, and everybody kind of gets on tangents where they go and dabble in something. And, you know, I saw a disruption in the system with a lot of the changes that have happened the last couple of years. So that's the one thing about Stellantis and Dodge that I appreciate, is that they don't just try to follow trends. I mean, they obviously want to know what the consumers want. They follow trends of what the consumers want, but they don't just do stuff to do stuff. They're very true to their mission and what they stand for, and raw horsepower and speed is what that's always been about in their past, and they're staying true to that.
With Matt and Leah, primarily you've raced for Dodge. What would you say the greatest benefit, if you don't mind? So, consistency with it.
Yeah, I think the relationship we built with Dodge, and I mean, I started off with Mopar and then switched over more to the Dodge side of things. Just a partnership and just being able to be vocal back and forth with building bodies in the past and different things that we're doing to showcase what Dodge can do. I mean, they're just a massive amount of resources there with wind tunnels and different things that they do to help our program and different things like that. But just a relationship and just being able to go back and forth and what we've built over the years. Like I said, this is coming up on 18 years with me between Mopar and Dodge. It's just been incredible, you know, and it's something that you dream of, that you hope that you can find a partner that you can have a relationship with that long, and they want to be in the sport and they see value and the return on the investment. And it's just like, sometimes that's really hard to show, but like one thing about Dodge is that they've been a huge supporter of NHRA drag racing, even with Denver and Mile High, and they were one of the longest running sponsors out there for that. And so you have consistency, and when you have consistency, you feel like you can go out here and do different things and try different things where you're not so much worried about like, hey, we have to be, you know, our return on investment every year, we got to show them this and that. They already get it, you know, they've already crunched the numbers, they see that it's good to be here. So it frees us up to do a lot of different things and try things. And I know that's what I was super excited about when Tony decided to build a team. I was like, man, this guy's a NASCAR guy. We're going to be able to do all kinds of crazy stuff. And, you know, and then he comes back and he's like, well, we're doing about everything we can in the rules, you know what I mean? So, you know, but that excitement and different things are there, and being able to branch out and then have a new team owner. And I've been able to win with a couple different crew chiefs as far as championships and stuff goes. So I think for me, it's just been more of having that stability and consistency with a partner like that for a long time that's allowed us to win so many races and championships along the way.
Thank you.
I think for me, it's been about opportunity. With Don Schumacher Racing, Mopar was the very first partner that came on board, and I think vision is what they have. And when the opportunity came for me to drive their drag pack and be a part of their new car, and it wasn't just run that car for a couple races, that was multi-years, and there's a large scope around what their mission is, whatever it might be. And as it has changed throughout the years, from Dodge to Power Brokers to Direct Connection, they utilize their teams, their assets, and I think that's the definition of a true partner. So that it gets me excited about what's ahead, right? What is Dodge doing in the next couple of years? How are we doing it on track with certain parts and performance that we actually use, and the crew chiefs are involved in that development? And then also what the consumers are doing, and how can we be involved to send that message? So for me, it's always been about opportunity, and the opportunity for me to get back in a car is there, and hopefully that'll come down the line, and I know that Dodge will be there and work with every single one of us in our own vein. I think it's awesome that we stand for, we're unique in our own way, but we're a team, and we offer that value to Dodge, and they have so many different opportunities for us to showcase ourselves in the NHRA, and that's what I think makes a long-term standing relationship.
Thank you. Best of luck this week.
Thank you.
Matt, last question. Some changes on the team heading into the year. How excited are you about just the potential you see in this group?
Well, sometimes when we made the change out there, it was like, Dickie's always been like that dad feeling, you know what I mean? It's like, you got these young guys coming up and doing different things, and you always had that like, well, dad's there and he's just going to make sure everything's okay, and what I can say is that I've watched Mike Knudsen, my now crew chief, was assistant crew chief, come from working on Spencer Massey's car and doing bottom end to clutch to working on our car and being a part of that, and just watch a guy from the very bottom come all the way up to be a crew chief. And it's kind of a funny thing that we got, like just an inside joke running, that he's undefeated so far. Dickie got sick twice and we won the race both races when he was sick, and then Dickie, at the end of the season, Dickie was kind of like, we were all talking about how this direction was going to go, whether he's going to stay on as a consultant or, moving things around dragster and stuff. And Dickie was kind of like, all right, kid, you want to tune the car? Well, you tune it, And so Dallas race, we went out there and Mike tuned the car and we won the race. And he was like, oh, I guess he can do it. You know what I mean? So the confidence has always been there. But I'm just super proud to see a group of guys that have worked together and stayed together. The majority of my core group of guys I've had almost 15 years, and that's a lot to be said out here, and so people come and people go, and I've seen a lot of that happen over the years, and to know that I have a group that are just, they're like, they love you, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, okay, I've had an opportunity to go over here, I get offered this money over there, but like, it's like, no, how do we make this work here? And Tony and Leah both were a big part of that, making that happen, making those decisions come together, and really kind of putting our best foot forward with bringing up from the bottom and within and promoting within our organization, which is huge. He's 15 years in and he deserves a shot to be a crew chief, I think. So Tony's allowing that to happen, and I'm just excited about it. We had one of the best test sessions I've ever had in my career down in Bradenton, and we threw down, ran some great numbers. We qualified number 2 out there. Every lap we went down the racetrack, we tested everything that we wanted to test and learned everything that he set out there to learn, and was kind of like, okay, I got that. I was like, dude, I think you got this. You know what I mean? So we're racing and obviously qualifying, and anything can happen, and this is a very, very humbling sport, and usually when you think you got it figured out, it kicks you in the ass, but at the end of the day, I come into this race and to qualifying in this event with a very, very confident mindset that we have everything together that we need to. Tony and Leah and everybody in the TSR organization has provided us with the parts and pieces. The kid's got his head screwed on straight, and I'm chomping at the bit, man. My lights have been great. I've been cutting 50s and 60 lights out there, and testing, and looking at everybody else's lights. It's just like, okay, maybe I can do my job now, But it's all about confidence, right? Like, it comes to you when they're doing their job and the car's running down the racetrack, and they feel confident, and then I feel confident, and it just kind of comes together. So that synergy and that feeling is great right now. So I'm kind of ready to throw my mouthpiece in today and make 2 pulls and see where we land, So I'm excited.
Yeah, I was going to ask, Leah, since you mentioned potentially getting back in the car at some point, is there a re-entry strategy, and does it get harder the longer you go, or does it get easier, and does Dom make it easier to not be in the car?
I really don't know that I have an answer for that question. There's not a strategy by any means. This is the first day of the first race of my first season with a child, and I guess from a strategy standpoint, we had conversation at the end of last year about me getting back in the car, and I just had to be very truthful that I did not think that I could do a job for Dodge, for our fans, and be engaging in with the team like I love to be, and also be a mom to Dodge, or be a mom, the Dodge mom to Dominic.
It looks like I'm gonna have to run the show from now on for a while, guys.
And I bring that up, and even though there's not a strategy for it, my heart says that I'll be back in a race car. Don't know which one it will be, or what category, what class, or what year, but it will be there because I'm so involved with the team, specifically the Top Fuel team, on a couple projects that have kept me on purpose. I've kept very busy so that I don't lose involvement, and so when I do jump right back in, I'm even more equipped with what I've been working on. So I don't know, and it's about kicking Tony out of the seat. I think I'd have a more hard time dealing with. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But it's always exciting when you look forward to the future and you have something in mind. And what that journey is like, I still don't know, but I'm enjoying it.
You better give me this. Just for the record, and from day one that we had our first conversation about starting a family, and the topic came up of would I drive while she is on this journey. Make this 1000% clear so there's no mistakes and I don't get my butt carved up on social media. That race car is her race car. And when she's ready to get back in it, I will immediately get back out at whatever time, whatever event that is, or whatever event's coming up. If mid-season she says, I want to get back in that car, I will gladly step out of that car for my wife. That is why we started this program, was for her. So, I mean, and obviously her and Matt and the synergy between the two, that's why we started this program. But at the moment that she's ready to get back in the car, I will promise everyone, I will step out of that car and not blink. I'll probably be crying at the same time, but I will not hesitate to get out of that car. That is her team over there, and I'm just the fill-in guy till she's ready to get back in that car, so.
Maybe she leaves you there and then she drives a funny car with me. What do you think? We can work? I'm just trying to get a teammate funny car, you know? I'm trying so hard.
That's why I knew when he grabbed the mic right now, I'm like, there's nothing good gonna come out of this. Something else that I forgot, and it made me think when Matt talked about starting with Mopar. I mean, TSR started 25 years ago. We're on our 25th anniversary. We started with Mopar. Our midget teams, sprint car teams, Silver Crown teams were all Mopar powered cars from Gary Stanton. So it's kind of neat that 25 years later, we've come back full circle with the partner that we started with and the OEM that we started with. So it makes me even more proud about what we're doing today, why we're here today, talking about what we're talking about. That's a neat synergy.
Thank you guys. Congratulations on the extension. Best luck this weekend.
Thank you.